and I am having fun on the dog beach. Never know who will come to visit. A lot of activity here, but even amongst all the busyness of the day, find a time for you to become observant to your breath. So when you're able, come to your most comfortable seated position where you can take all of it in and slow it down. So find your body into your most comfortable seat, lengthening into your spine, maybe allowing your head to float over the shoulders, where you can be steady and still. Be curious as to what is supporting your body underneath you. Be curious as to way your breath is rolling in and rolling out. Does it mimic how the roll of the ocean waves come into shore? Can you find your body's most natural rhythm? With no judgment, just observation. And if you can get yourself even 1% more comfortable, I welcome you to do that. And when you're ready, close your eyes. Let's create a count to the breath. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your natural rhythm, allowing that breath to flow in and to flow out. Give your brain time to not have to think, not have to control. We'll call this bliss for your brain. As you welcome any sounds coming into your right ear, sounds coming in and out of your left ear, using sensation of sounds coming out of both ears. Letting sounds be part of your meditation practice as we're extremely grateful for our common sense of sound. finding the pleasure of all sounds right here and right now. Sensing air coming into your right nostril, air coming in and out of your left nostril, air filling up your body from both nostrils. And it's amazing how you have this precious gift that you don't even have to think or control. It just simply happens. All behind the scenes. What a gift. What a gift to always have, and bringing that gift to the present moment today. Filling your body up with that natural current, that natural wave. You want it, you need it, nurture it. Going with the flow, moving with your breath, and allowing nature to take its course. Letting it go, letting anything that is weighted on the world weighted on the shoulders, to sense the shoulders release, like waves rolling down your back. Maybe giving your body that release, making room for breath and sensation, of feeling it, nurturing it, honoring it. What a gift you have every second of your day. It's your life force. It changes the chemistry of your body, of your blood, changing the amazing way that you feel, and making that feeling feel amazing, bright and good. What a gift, being with what is. Bringing the hands to press in front of the heart, and maybe giving more breath into that heart space. More gratitude for the natural occurrence that happens 28,000 times a day. The nutrients of breath that it gives to your body. Warming up the hands, stimulating the thumbs, pulling back the thumbs and the index finger, middle finger, ring, pinky. Stimulate the flesh of the forearm. Maybe even planting the heel of your palm to your heart space. And take a pause, take a breath, and feel that subtle rise of that heart space and fall of the breath, opening up the palm, hitching that thumb to reach to the back, maybe giving a squeeze of the shoulder and the arm. Switching sides as we nurture the touch, sense of touch, the gift of touch to our bodies is such a gift, another gift. You want to give your body the gift as gifts that are truly free, and giving it each and every day, stimulating the flesh of the forearm, flipping the palm over in place, planting your hands on the heart space, your opposite hand on the heart space. Let it flow in, let it flow out, coaxing the heel of your hand to touch the skin, to squeeze the shoulder, the arm, the forearm, interlacing the fingers, reaching out in front. Notice the rounding, and then flip the palms towards you and notice the lengthening. Flipping the palms away, rounding, and lengthening. And then both palms flip open and give yourself the most opening of that heart space as the hands press down into your mat or into your beach. And just take it all in, breathing it, nurturing it, maybe even feeling it in the sense of the belly. Rest your hands on your belly. Feel the subtle rise and fall of the belly. And gently moving the head, circling it, lengthening into the sides of your neck, back of your neck, the front of your neck, your throat. Bringing your hands on the ribs. Notice how you expand and how you release and let go. Cultivating it, nurturing it, bringing it into today's go with the flow practice. Coming into quadruped. Wrapping the elbow points to face me. Find your cow, gripping all 10 fingers to pull the chest through. And we're going to hover the knees and then bend at the elbows, landing the forearms. 10 fingers pull back, opening up the heart space. Coming back into cow, gripping all 10 fingers, heart stays open, toes press down, knees lift up, hips lift up, lowering down the forearms, and then landing the knees, gripping all 10 fingers here, pull the chest forward. Coming into cat and cow. I'm going to keep length in my spine today. So I'm going to be more of a cow than a cat back. Feel that difference. Hovering the knees, pressing into the ball mounds of the footprint, landing the forearms, and then landing the knees. Arms reach out and wave. Let that wave roll across the back, into the arms, into the handprint. And then walking your hands back up, hovering the knees. And this time, as we drop the forearms, I want you to really widen the knees to reach. Big toes come together. Lengthen the reach of the arms overhead. And feel that wave rolling down the length of your spine, maybe leaning the forearms down, lifting the hips, lowering the hips, but feel that wave of sensation. And then take a breath into child's pose, maybe rolling that third eye. And then gripping all 10 fingers, allowing the heart space to move forward. Find baby cobra, all 10 fingertips pull back. Maybe angling the elbows to narrow, the wrists to be wider, so you can really opening up the space between the collarbones. And then unload using that breath, locust. Feel that wave sensation rolling across the back, moving into the wrists. Holding that locust, taking that breath, going with the flow. Hands imprint, the hips lift up, pressing the toes into the ground, lifting up with your core into down dog, pedaling out the footprint. Left foot lifts, pushing into the ball mound of the foot. Left knee comes in. Keeping active in the core. Left foot plants, dropping the back knee, pressing both footprints away. Lengthen into the spine. Finding with that left behind the back, add that reach of the arm overhead. And then taking the reach, circling it overhead. Breathing into the side of the ribs and going with the flow, whatever way that allows your body to move and feel amazing. Both hands plant, left foot steps back and swirl around. Find sturdiness in your plank as you're gripping all 10 fingers. Lower the knees and the toes. Find your baby cobra. And use that breath to help stay lifted into locust. Rolling that wave of energy across the mid-back. Maybe feeling more opening into the neck. Maybe energize the tops of the thighs. Hands imprint. Toes touch under, hips lift up, press down to lift up. Find core strength into your dog as you pedal out those footprints. Right foot lifts. Maybe the right hip opens. Rebalance that hip. Knee comes into the chest. Pushing into the ball mound of the footprint. Coming into three-legged dog. Pushing into the ball of the footprint. Knee comes into the chest. And using that undulation of flow as you are accessing grounding support from the foot. Right foot steps down, 90-degree lunge. Interlace those fingers, lengthening into the spine. Let the heart lead the way. Binding with the right forearm behind the back of the body at that side bend. Breathing into the ribs. Go in with the flow. Adding that reach. Adding that length. Into the side of the body, into the front of the hip. Front of the thigh. Do what feels good. In your body. Both hands plant. Stepping the back foot to meet the top of your mat or your towel. Interlace those fingers. Pressing with demand into your footprint as you come up into Malasana or into a standing lengthened position. Take that breath in, inviting sounds and fragrances and that gift of breath into your body. Left arm reaches, side bend, binding the right hand around, bending at the knees, adding that reach, and going with the flow. Going with this super amazing ability to keep stable and taken in movement. What a gift. High crescent lunge, stepping that back foot, front foot back on the left. Interlace the fingers, that long reach, and maybe bending at the knees and going with the flow. Any way that you wish to move. Notice how if you hook your thumbs or touch the fingers, it helps give you balance. Warrior two. Add that reach, pressing with those footprints, and maybe adding that sense of movement from a variation to a reverse, closing the eyes, taking in, take it all in as you reach your arm overhead, reaching that arm back. Such a gift. Left hand plants into twisted crescent, and I just want you to gently pivot and feel how you're going to get length into the side of your hip and your glute, and then come back to center, twisted crescent. Gripping all 5 fingers, feel that shoulder, the weight of the world roll off the back. And then we're maybe adding that pivot, but keep the hips lifted. Little quirky. Twisted crescent. And this time, as we pivot, we're going to slide that back foot in, knee behind the front knee, and then add that reach. Add that full length from your seat as it stays grounded. Adding that movement, front to back, going with the flow. Adding that reach, hands plant to the heart. Adding that rotation, hands plant back to the heart. Doing what makes you feel good to come alive. Forearms come down, moving into Sphinx. All 10 fingers pull back. bending at the left knee, looking right. Bending at the left knee, looking left. Do you feel it? Do you feel how this synergy of left to right working together as one? So incredible to be able to have the gift of movement. Find that locust. If bow is in your practice, make that happen. And gently release, hands imprint, hips lift up, press down to lift into your down dog, pedal out the feet. Maybe bending at your knees and getting more feedback of those hips to open as you take it side to side. Looking ahead and maybe hopping, maybe walking those feet to the front of the mat. I'm going to Malasana, come into Malasana, hands plant to the heart, reaching those knees to the corners of the world as I come up into my most glorious reach. Bringing the feet to plant. Feel that breath as if you're on top of the world. Right arm reaches, lengthening, maybe binding the left forearm so it just gives you this energy into the heart space to open. And then add that flow, add that reach. Be curious as to how you have ranges from side to side, and use the eye gaze of the hand to help the brain to reacquire that movement that you need. Stepping back, high crescent lunge. Finding and reaching. It's okay to wobble. Holding here, right hand plants into twisted crescent. 5 fingers press back. And then not naturally pivot onto the balls of the feet to open up the hip, but the top hip stays lifted. Feel a sensation of a healthier stretch into the hip. Come back into twisted crescent and use that gentle pivot, but don't drop totally yet. Kind of tease the sensation of the foot to press down into the hip to lift up. Twisted crescent, and this time we're sliding that back foot in and finding your seat, seated twist, opening up the heart space, having that reach from side to side, from front to back, any way that gives you pleasure in your body. Move with radiant sensation. This time we're going to plant the hands to the shoulders and invite them down in our seat. Take an in breath. Going to flare the elbows to come more to narrow, opening up the wrists. Bringing the pinkies together. Palms come together, hands come to the heart space, lengthening into your spine. Back to the front of your mat, finding Sphinx, forearms down, gripping all 10 fingers, pulling back. And I want you to just be curious as to how your leg bones move into your hips as you roll it open, and maybe finding a gentle press of the knees to lift the thighs, to be energized, and then roll it on in, pulling all 10 fingers back. Take a breath, try it again, rolling the leg bones to widen, heels are widen, and then lifting up. Feel the core working with you, and keeping the hips more open. Even as we press into the ball mounds of the feet, I'm going to bring my knees to a bent position. So I'm in forearms down, gripping all 10 fingers to pull the chest through. And just like what we were doing in the seated position, our elbows are a little bit more narrow so the collarbones stay open, and hips are going to lift. And as we find our core, we're lifting up the hips, and then rebend your knees. Keep your hips open. Keep active in the lower portion of your scapula, of the shoulders, pulling the chest forward. Find that cow. Drawing the forearms back and down again. Gripping on the underside of that armpit. Strength as you hover the knees. Lift the knees. Dolphin. Pedaling out the footprint. Try that again. Lot of intention here into your core. Doesn't look like much. You can go with the flow on this as you lower down, but where that flow is in the core. I'm going to funky dolphin it, gripping my hand. My hand actually lines up with my elbow, and just getting used to how the triceps are going to feel active. And each and every time I lift. So you may stay here, or more importantly, add that dolphin in, maybe adding the reach of the left leg, and feel how that leg bone spins into the hip. And we're going to rocket that dog, pressing all down to get up. Left foot steps forward, half moon, flexing up the ankle. Adding that reach, opening up the chest. Maybe bending and extending the knees. Landing that back foot down. Warrior two. Going with the flow, adding that reverse and variation. Rolling it on in, rolling it on out. Both hands plant, stepping that back foot, front foot to the back, feeling sturdy in your plank as you roll it, nurture it, cultivate it. Child's pose. Big toes together, knees grow wide, and go with the flow. Any way that you feel the need to move, make it happen. Forearms down, gripping all 10 fingers. Pull your heart space through. Maybe coming into cow. Adjusting your base adjusting your hips. Toes tuck under, keep active in your forearms. All 10 fingers pull back. And maybe even feel this synergy of the hips opening as you roll the heels out. Keep active in your fingerprints, hovering the knees, gripping all 10 fingers back. And then landing, widen the base, widen the knees as you move into cow. Keeping anterior tilt in the hips. Need to have space in that lumbar back. Landing the forearms. This time let's line up the right hand. It should be even with the elbow. And as you press up, keep gripping those 5 fingers, feeling the underside of the armpit space, and lift. Once you feel it in the top of the shoulder, you might want to just practice lifting and being active in the underside of the armpit. And just like a simple bending and extension of those elbows. And once you get that, maybe lifting and rolling. Doing what feels good. Try it again. Gripping all 5 fingers, lifting and opening. Bending and extending the knee, keeping the hips open. This time pushing with demand. Rocket that dog. Right foot steps forward, half moon. Right hand down. At the flexion of the ankle, feel the top hip helping the bottom hip, and make any adjustments that you need to get out of the neck, flexing at the ankle. Opening up the hip, keeping those hips open, even taking extension out of the knee, the hip stays open. We're going to land that left foot down, warrior 2. And go with the flow as you reach it back. Side angle. Maybe closing the eyes as you reach it back. Opening it out. Making it feel yummy, making it feel delicious. Both hands plant and step the right foot back into plank, making any adjustments in your hands, wrapping the elbow points to the front of your mat, swirl it around, and then lower down with connection and with control to your core. Heart leads the way. Locust. And then maybe if bow is in your practice, you're getting a little perky in the hips as you reach for the ankles. Hips lift up, fueling the curves of your body. Stay curved. And then release those insteps. Both hands plant. Hips lift up. Press down to lift up. Find that down dog. Pedal out the feet. So beautiful. So amazing. Looking front, bending at your knees, hopping into that Malasana. Bringing both hands to plant before the heart. Get out of the shoulders. Reaching to the corners of the world with those knees. Adding a lifted sense using the length of your spine, curves of the spine, interlacing the fingers, adding that reach up, and maybe adding that sweeping from one side, sweeping to the other. going with the flow, going with your breath, standing tall at the top of your mat or towel, taking in brilliant sensation of the sights, of the sounds, of the air, bringing in all those amazing gifts of having life. Let it fill up your body. Allow it to fill up your breath. Hooking those thumbs, reaching long length to the arms overhead, and bending at the knees. Utkatasana, hands point to the thighs. Thighs is active against the hands. Hands into the thighs, thighs into the hands. One of my favorite postures, asanas. It just allows this natural sensation back into the hips, back into the spine. And we're going to pick up the heel, and as you roll the arches, can you sense this, without even thinking about it, these lower belly muscles grabbing on to save the day? Let's hold the left heel to open. I'm going to bring the hands to the heart, and I want you to add that little twist. So we're in prayer twist, opening up the chest, maybe opening up the arms with that, and going with the flow, adding that reach, keeping the heel lifted on the opposite foot. And this time the hands are going to come to the heart space, and we're going to bring it to the back of the mat, pull it in, flow it back. And maybe to the back of your mat, having that side angle. And then taking the bend out of your knee, squeezing the shoulders together. Feeling that stretch in the inner thigh. Hands plant to the heart, sweeping, and then coming into low lunge with a prayer twist, adding that opening of the heart space. And then maybe even getting the shoulder blade to invite down. And adding that sweeping energy of the hands. Lizard lunge. Finding that lizard lunge, leaning on in, and then maybe taking the bend out of the knee, pushing into the ball mounds of the feet, adding the bend of the elbows as you're rolling to the front and to the back, but your hips are weighted. Maybe even coming into twisted scissors and hopping back, or making it happen where you're in upward dog, gripping all 10 fingers, really keeping active in your core. Big toes together, knees go wide. Add your child's pose. And then rolling anywhere that you need to roll. Toes tuck under, down dog. Looking ahead, bending at your knees, you're hopping into that Malasana. Reaching those knees, the corners of your world, your room, and pressing the demand of those knees to reach as you keep the curves and length of your spine. Lifting up. Sweeping from one side, sweeping to the other side. And it feels amazing. To feel that breath, feeling life. Hands plant to the heart. Inhale, exhale, let it go, let it out, let it go. Hands plant to the top of the thighs, Yukatasana. And we're going to pick up those heels, pedal with them out, feeling that sensation. And we're going to keep that right heel lifted. Hands plant to the heart. Adding a prayer twist. And sense how we just breathe and find our core. Letting that flow to be all around you. Stepping with feeling and sensation, right foot back, prayer twist, lunge. And then go with the flow, add that wave of energy, front to back. And then hold your prayer twist. And this time, as we move it back and move it front, we're going to hold to the back of your mat into side angle. Bending at the knee, extending the knee, keeping the perkiness of your hip for that hip not to go, to roll in, to keep it rolling back. And then moving into lizard lunge, using the ball mounds of your feet as you roll, being curious as to how those feet give you so much lift off as you organize without you even thinking about it. Into how you press down, and it just happens. Maybe a twisted scissor. But whatever it is, coming into upward dog, gripping all 10 fingers throughout, bending at the knees, finding your child's pose as you adjust any way that you wish, any way that you desire. Be your own hero. If this doesn't feel right for your knees, come into a 90 degree seat. Left hand touches the bottom of your foot, and maybe we're lifting up and adding that reach, adding that opening of the heart space, of the hips. Try to keep the curve of your low back, and then maybe when you extend the knees, take it out. Switching sides. Making it glorious, making it count. So amazing. gift of life. Coming into that locust. And then maybe coming into bow. Flexing up those ankles. And on the exhale, bring your forehead to the forearms. And rinse out the knees from side to side. Both hands come underneath your chest, lifting up the hips. And either come to Savasana or your most comfortable seated position, where you can be still, where you can find support. Finding your breath. Giving your body the gift of breath each and every day, how profound it is, but how incredible it makes you feel. Coming back to our breath anytime we need it. Being with what is and allowing the universe to guide you. Letting sounds and sensations of our senses come into your Savasana, coming into your rest, coming into your space. Deepening your breath. Allowing that breath to roll in and roll out. Wiggling the fingers and toes, rounding the wrists and the ankles. Bending at the elbows and knees. Giving yourself a giant big hug. Come off to your side, take that pause. And when you're able, come to your most comfortable seat. Hands plant to the heart. Inhale. Holding at the top, open the mouth, exhale. Let it go, let it out, let it go. Inhale. Holding at the top, open the mouth, exhale. Let it go, let it out. One more time. Inhale. Holding at the top, open the mouth, exhale. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Go with the flow. If you want to walk, walk. If you want to dance, dance. If you want to run, run. Whatever it is that gives you joy and happiness to your heart, and allow the universe to allow you to flow. Trust it, embrace it, and nurture it through your breath. Thank you for being kind to all beings, and most importantly, being kindest to yourselves. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.